Welcome to the YMCA of Greater Boston's annual campaign kickoff. This year's theme is People Helping People, because that's what the YMCA is all about. From our early education programs to our food distribution sites, to our health and wellness programming, including our virtual platform, to our newly opened vaccination center at the Menino YMCA in Hyde Park, the YMCA is here to support our communities every step of the way. Our ability to offer a wide and impactful range of programs is because of the support that we receive from partners, corporations, foundations, and individual donors like yourself. And each of you believe that people should help each other and that we should pay it forward to ensure equity and equality for all, and that everyone deserves the same chance to live, grow, and thrive. Due to the pandemic in 2020, the Y quickly pivoted to address pressing community needs. We provided food to the hungry, set up our learners for success in an ever-changing educational landscape. We launched our virtual studios and YMCA Go so that everyone could have access to healthy living resources whenever and wherever they wanted them. And perhaps most importantly, we fostered an environment where partnerships thrived and where individuals found a way through the Y to enact real change in their lives. But for you, the YMCA would not be able to address real issues of hunger, learning loss, social isolation, and the health disparities that exist throughout Greater Boston. Over the past year, food insecurity has increased by 59% in Massachusetts. Working with our partners and supporters, we are committed to providing nutritious, culturally appropriate meals to children, families, and seniors. And since March of 2020, we have provided more than 4.6 million meals and will continue to deliver meals throughout 2021 and 2022. There is no question that education for children and adult learners has been disrupted over the last year. We are determined to mitigate the learning loss that has occurred for so many. Currently, we are operating 71 learning pods for students across 18 sites, serving 804 students. In addition, we are operating 9 after-school locations and 9 early education centers. We are committed to keeping our community strong and healthy, which is why we created the virtual studio in the first month of the COVID-19 crisis and continue to reopen our branches and program centers. Each year, the YMCA provides families and individuals, young and old, with the opportunity to live healthier and happier lives. We don't turn anyone away because of an inability to pay. We offer scholarships and financial aid and support with an aim to making sure that every person has access to our programs and services. Through the Y, by volunteering or through your meaningful membership, you are making a positive difference in the lives of others. So, why people helping people? Well, last year at our Dorchester turkey giveaway, I found myself carrying a turkey to the car for one of our participants. And while we walked toward her car, she was grateful and thankful and said, "What I like most about this event is that it's people helping people." And that comment stuck with me to this day. It's all about people helping people. So this year's annual campaign is increasingly important in a city that is recovering from the events of last year. And we have resolved ourselves to do more, to be more supportive, and to love each other. And that is the Y way and how people help people. We are hopeful that the future will be bright for those living in our communities. However, we recognize that the future calls upon us to work together. And we are so grateful to you for making the commitment to be a part of our cause. We need your support. We cannot provide bright futures without you. So permit me to thank you in advance for your support and your partnership as we build bright futures together.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and for giving your time to us this morning. This year is a year to look back on how far we've come and look forward to what comes next. After so much uncertainty, there is relief on the horizon. However, we all know that our world has changed, as evidenced by our virtual meeting this morning. This past year has been hard, but the knowledge we've gained will see us through to the future. This year, we have a clear focus. We are feeding, educating, moving, and giving in our communities. And we are so glad that you're here with us.
From March 2020 to December 2020, we delivered 4.6 million meals.
We are working in getting new partners every single day to make sure that we're expanding to every single neighborhood, every single household, every single family.
The Y plays a very special part in the Boston community. So the YMCA is a hub where partners and organizations alike come together to come up with solutions that addresses different issues in Boston. And so during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially after March, it was necessary for us to be involved in coming up and creating a food hub where the children and the parents that usually use our facilities just have access to nutritious breakfast and lunches because the schools were closed. So it was very necessary for us to get on the phone with the food bank to make sure that we have pantry hubs, local restaurants to provide not only nutritious meals, but culturally appropriate meals. So we, the YMCA in Boston, we have a fairly big Muslim population. And once the schools got shut down and the Y started a food program, we were able to tap our network to make sure we had halal meals that were ready for folks that are in the Muslim faith. We also had culturally appropriate meals in Revere, in Chelsea, for folks so that they know that they can trust us and this is something that they can actually consume. So the outcomes of 2020 led us to understand just the breadth and the depth of the food insecurity in Boston. And so, going forward, I think that the YMCA is going to be play a huge role in facilitating conversations and how are we providing nutritious food to kids in our school systems? How are we targeting, colleges to make sure that they have pantry items? Because a lot of college kids in Boston are also food insecure. We are trying to start a food hub, partnering with the food bank to make sure that we are a big distribution site. So not only are we feeding kids under our SFSP program, which is a federal funded program that are for kids that are 18 years and under, but we're also providing food for adults using our pantry program. So, we have a partnership with the food bank where we are getting, pallets and pallets worth of fresh fruits and vegetables and also shelf-stable items. And what we do is we have this warehouse where we will be packaging pantry items and sending it to organizations as well. So we can also meet the adult population that we know that are food insecure. And so we are just trying to take a holistic approach and on how we are tackling food insecurity in Boston and making sure that we are speaking with every partner and everyone that is involved in this space. I think without partnerships, we would have been able to do nothing, right? So all our successes is based on the partnerships that we have sustained throughout this pandemic. And that goes from our DESE partners. So DESE is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which is the state agency that administers the program. So the partnership with created with them was very beneficial, because when it came to opening emergency sites, we had the support, we had the knowledge, and we had the expertise of our state agents, and in order to help us and guide us through the way, right? And so we had partnership with ISD, which is the inspection department, and they were very helpful in making sure that we are following protocols on how to run a safe and healthy food site. We had partnerships with the City of Boston's Mayor's Office of Food Access, which was one of our strongest partners. We met up with them every single day. We had partnership with the Boston Public School Department, and also the Boston Housing Authority. And all together, we were making sure that we strategically placed food sites all across the city, so that every single kid in Boston would at least have a food site that's very close to them. For me, it's very personal. I actually grew up with the Y. My first job was with the YMCA in East Boston. Throughout college, I was able to feed myself, working part-time at the Y. And so when it comes to people helping people, it is a very innate responsibility that we hold dearly, because we know that the folks that we see on a daily basis, they are our brothers, our mothers, our children. We are feeding kids of people that work at the Y. These are folks that we see on a daily basis. And we know that in order to strengthen the community, you do have to make sure that you have that personal connection with every single person that visits the Y. So, people helping people is just naturally what we do here at the YMCA.
We've had the benefit of creating over 25 community learning centers in Greater Boston. Those are those spaces and places in the community where working parents can take their children, and their children can access their remote lessons while at the same time receiving enrichment, as well as plain and simply having some fun.
At Training Inc., we support unemployed adults. Our goal is to support them to find and thrive in their next careers.
You're here for a bell. What's your news, Shauna?
I've been hired for an MSPCA, at the Jamaica Plain, finally, from an animal clinic. So I'll be doing a lot of training and, working with a lot of animals that I was really looking for. So, I'm really excited, and, thank you for everything. They really want to know what you learned. What have you learned, and what's your experience from back then? So, and then they will ask you, okay, so what do you want? Why do you want this job? I told them that I really want to be here. I love animals, and, I have a lot of customer service experience. YMCA actually, told us what they really want to hear. And it's exactly true. They really want to hear what we actually learned in the YMCA training.
Now, did you ever anticipate that this is what you'd be doing and that this is the direction that you'd be going in? How long have you had this kind of, because in some ways it seems like it's kind of a dream come true of sorts.
I actually gave it a second thought. I'm like, I don't know, that's for me and everything else, because I never went through everything like this before. And I took an initiative, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for it, because I want a career job. I want to be someone in life, and I don't want to be in retail anymore. So I want to go for that, job that I really want, and it's animals. I'm like, you know what? I know it's gonna take process, and I'm gonna do it. So now we all gonna graduate, and now I got the job that I really wanted for years. I'm really happy about it. And, I'm so happy, and I'm so glad that I took that chance, that YMCA Training Inc. If it wasn't for them, I would not be here and looking for a job that I really wanted in my whole entire life. Amazing. It's really worth it. And I recommend anyone who's out there who needs a experience, I would tell them to come here.
What makes you happy to come to the Y?
I'm happy to come and work out. I always feel good after exercising and seeing some of my friends.
I have gym stuff at home, but working out by yourself, no people in the basement, there's not a lot of drive.
We're not on our phones, we're not wondering what's going on, we're just happy to be away from it. It's kind of like a haven.
Things are definitely different, but it was good. It's good to hold on to something that was part of my normal routine.
pre-COVID?
I love spinning. Last week I started spinning with these ladies here, and it's been a joy.
Like everyone, I want to live a full and healthy life, and in order to do that, I feel it's essential to take care of myself. And in this time of the coronavirus, we've had to be creative around how we make that happen. And one of the ways we are making that happen is through our virtual fitness program. Many of us miss our group exercise classes, we miss Zumba, all those other opportunities that we have to come together and connect with other human beings. So I called a virtual meeting with members to see how they're staying healthy during these challenging times.
Just basically been scheduling my workouts. Have to be a little bit flexible with the time depending on when I get home, but just putting it in my schedule.
There are days where I'm like, no, I don't want to do it, but I get on my mat or I go outside and it tends to help. So for me, I feel like physically staying active just helps with my mental health. So they're very connected for me.
I have grandchildren and I love my life. So I always say to my clients, find a purpose.
During this time when everyone is anxious, depressed, worried about what the future is going to be, once you get out there and you take your walk and you listen to the birds and you feel that wind on your face, and it's like, things will be okay. We'll get through this.
The basics: water, 3 meals, good nutrition, getting out, sunshine.
I can control me. I can control my emotions. I can control how I function within my little world, and just really focusing on that.
It's super important to make health a routine and make it a priority. We've gotten a lot of feedback from our members. They are thanking us for doing these videos every day, and just knowing that we're here for them and supporting them in any way we can, I think means a lot for our members.
I feel really proud to be part of an organization that takes care of the health and wellness of so many in our community, so that you can stay on task, stay fit, and continue to support that habit of a healthy lifestyle. What we're doing is taking care of each other. And in this time, that's critically important for us to recognize how important it is to take care of one another, to serve one another, and to share in this very difficult time, providing whatever level of support that we can to families and children and seniors in our community.
This fall, I saw, a need, in our communities, and I was really inspired by what the Y had done during the COVID pandemic. So I thought it'd be a great idea to engage young professionals more with the YMCA of Greater Boston. A big part of it for me, personally, was, in high school, I helped, kids in Boston through an organization called Tenacity. And tutored them and helped them, play tennis, just to give them an outlet from, outside of school. And that's sort of, just like helping, kids in need, and also families in need. I think that's, where my background in this sort of endeavor comes from. But with regard to COVID, and the why, I wanted to, find a way to help out and, like I said, engage young professionals who are capable of helping. But, given the circumstances, I thought it would make sense to really focus on fundraising, especially right now, because it's hard for, a lot of people to gather, and especially the case back this fall and during most of this winter. But, fortunately, we've been able to focus on fundraising. And as we move forward, we're going to focus on other things as well. The biggest reason to give to the Y is that that the money's going to directly impact families in our Boston community, in the people that the YMCA of Greater Boston serves, who often are from underserved communities. So I think it's great knowing that that money is going towards helping people that really need it, and especially need it right now during the worst of times with the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, so with the Young Professional Advisory Board, I really saw the potential to bring together a group of diverse and accomplished young professionals in Boston who are going places in their own careers and also have strong networks. And I saw the ability for them to fundraise and also to spread the mission of the Y and to directly serve themselves. But going forward, I've been really inspired by our group. I think we have a very diverse group and a very accomplished group in terms of their professional backgrounds, and they're all very motivated to raise money for the Y and also find a way to help out in community service opportunities going forward. People helping people, it makes me think of the Y helping those that need it most. I think that's what it comes down to, people helping people, just helping those that need it. And again, especially during, the toughest of times with this pandemic.
Wow, what amazing stories we've just heard. Welcome to the People Helping People campaign, the annual campaign for the YMCA of Greater Boston. I'm just pumped up hearing those great stories of impact that we've had. The YMCA of Greater Boston is changing lives. We're feeding, we're educating, we're moving, and we're giving. Those are the pillars of our campaign. These are the pillars that capture the most significant work that we are called to do at this time. Our branches in our program should have received their collateral pieces and their materials for the campaign, and you should see our messaging beginning soon. Our branches will have the look and feel of the campaign mode. You'll see our messaging online, and we hope that when you see our messaging on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and maybe even TikTok, that you'll like it, you'll tweet it, you'll share it, you'll high five it, you'll heart it, you'll give it a thumbs up, and you'll also post it yourself. We want to see our campaign go viral this year. We want people to know that you're supporting the YMCA of Greater Boston and that the YMCA of Greater Boston is having a positive impact on the lives of others. We are people helping people. As we move forward in the campaign, and as I like to say, we march into May, we're asking all of you to commit to volunteer fundraise for the campaign this year. You'll be in a position to create your own web pages to help support the YMCA of Greater Boston. You'll be able to track it. You'll also be able to invite people to also fundraise on behalf of the YMCA of Greater Boston. We do this one time a year where we do our campaign. And this is your time to participate. This is your time to be a part of the YMCA of Greater Boston in a really meaningful way. With all the resources that we raise, all the money that we raise, it stays in your branches. It stays in our communities. And it goes towards helping those families, those kids, and the children, and the program and services in our community. And so we need your help. And we need you to be engaged. And we're so excited that you're going to be a part of our campaign this year, because we're all about people helping people. So today, we kick off the campaign. Today, we launch it. Today, we get everyone involved. And for the next 2 months, we will be actively out fundraising on behalf of the YMCA of Greater Boston. What's amazing already is that towards our $3 million goal, yes, a goal of just $3 million, we've already raised $1 million. So we're kicking off our campaign right on the path for success. And what I ask you to do today is to get your energy up, to think about the families that we've served, the meals that we've served, the kiddos that we've provided educational opportunities for, the families that we've engaged in moving activities and get them out of isolation. and to give on our own today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today and taking your time and being a part of our campaign. Let's have a successful campaign. Have a great day, everyone.